Hey, good morning, Grapeview friends.
Good morning.
Christ is risen.
He is risen indeed.
Here we are, just a couple of days past Easter Sunday. And it's interesting because in the church calendar, they actually talk about this time between Easter Sunday and Pentecost as all still the Easter season. It's not like you had Easter and then there's downtime and then there's Pentecost.
So what you're saying is I can continue to eat all those chocolate eggs.
Well,
I think that's what he's saying.
that could be related.
Technical.
It depends, I suppose, on how closely related the Easter eggs are to the actual resurrection story, but that's for another day's discussion, not today.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, it was great on Sunday. We had our Sunday chat in the snack and chat room online with our Zoom connection. I think there was about like 20 or more screens on there representing about 50 people in our church.
I was there twice.
Okay, yes. But Carolee joined us this Sunday. What was your takeaway from that time?
Yeah, I think it was great. Thank you so much for coming out and taking that time. It was so good to see all of you and the honest hearts that were truly speaking about what they're going through, their process, and also the many praises and the things to be thankful for. And I loved hearing that because there are so many things to be thankful for.
That's the reality, in a sense, of the resurrection story, right? Is that in the midst of great difficulty, even Jesus' death, yet there's a hopeful story that we have.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So one of the things that we just shared a bit around there, and in our prayer time on Tuesday here at the church, was really all the people who are still keeping the world going, so to speak. Whether it's healthcare providers, whether it's grocery store people. Every time I go into my Sobeys next door to where we live, I always say a thank you at the end to whoever's helping me there at the counter. Just thanks for showing up. I could get some food today.
Right.
I'm thankful because I know some stores literally are being shut down. If somebody tests positive in that story, they're shutting them down for 14 days.
Exactly. And in through like connection and so forth, like it's been a privilege of mine connecting with you via email or phoning. I made a couple calls yesterday to the people here, and it's interesting because I'm hearing the same thing, right? It's like, okay, yet I'm here alone, or I'm just in my household, yet I'm still thankful. I'm still able to do certain things, and I think talking to people, I think they are encouraged. They're hopeful for this all ending, of course, but I think in the process, a lot of them are going in it with prayer. And
it's the kind of our message on Sunday was this: because we have such hope in the resurrection that this earthly life is just one piece of a bigger story, that it gives us a hopefulness. And I think, as I encouraged on Sunday, why not just pick up and give a call or send an email or a text to somebody that you may be wondering, how's he doing? How's she doing? How are they doing? And whether you may know someone who's a healthcare professional out there doing the work, actively saying thank you, whether it's a family that's kind of overwhelmed with the struggle, and we know amongst us and just people who are literally on their own by themselves. And let's continue to just be the people of God with hope.
Yeah, I've been so encouraged in this time in my neighborhood and in the community that I've been in. I'm very surprised because some of you are aware, like, we're new to Niagara Falls, and yet in this time we've met like over 20 people, obviously in very much so social distancing, because we have a dog. And honestly, like, the amount of people who will actually pause, ask you how you're doing. Not only that, we'll go deep in the conversation. It's not glazing over conversations anymore, surface level stuff.
Yeah.
It's not about the weather or what's going on. I think people are gravitating to go deeper into a connection. I think innately that's what we are.
Yeah.
We desire that
Yeah.
intimacy. We desire that connection. And so I've been very hopeful for this and encouraged, and just taking that time, taking that pause to encourage the people that we are surrounding by, right?
Yeah. Does that work better if you're an extrovert?
It does. It does, definitely. Well, the dog, right? Well, the dog, having a dog, they gravitate to the words the
That's a
dog,
good
not
point.
necessarily us.
Okay.
And we have to make eye contact. Then it's like, oh, okay, I guess we can.
Yeah. Well, I was just, as you were saying that, I was just thinking about standing in line for 15 minutes outside the Sobeys store, right?
Okay.
So where you're waiting in line, there's people 6 feet ahead of you, and then you gradually move into the store as time goes by. And it's interesting because people do largely just stand there. And of course, me being an introvert, that's fine. I just stand there. So you've kind of challenged me to say hello to the person 6 feet away from me while I'm in the Sobeys line.
It's definitely not as easy as, for sure.
Okay, well, I know it is easy for you, but that's fine. So what happens after Easter? Like, it is that business, right? Palm Sunday and then Easter, and even if we were kind of separate from each other in our families, I know I had a Zoom call with my with my siblings and my parents and nieces and nephews, and there was probably 25 or 30 of us online.
Wow.
Because it was Easter, right?
Right.
We haven't done that, up till now. That was a special occasion, and okay, so we've done that now. Where do we go? Like, we're just still in our houses, and so over these next few weeks, because it appears that we're not going to be gathering back together as a church community anytime soon.
Right. For sure not for another month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so so over these next weeks, up towards Pentecost, which is another big event in the life of the church, which is at the end of May, I'm going to be working through a series on the letter of Peter that Peter wrote, First Peter, his first letter. You remember, Peter was one of those guys he saw the resurrected Jesus. Yeah. And that conversation that Peter had with Jesus on the beach after the resurrection. Yeah. And so when Peter starts to write to Christians about how to deal with difficult times, because that's who he was writing to, he's writing as a resurrection believing person. And so even though the Christians in the early church that he was writing to, he says that you're going through great trials right now. That's literally in the first chapter of his letter. And so he says, what does it mean to be resurrection people in these times? And so that's going to be my focus over the next week. So I hope that you'll join with us on our Sunday content there. But I just wanted to share those few thoughts, and please continue to be encouraged. And I've asked Carolee, we've got a little prayer here that...
Absolutely. So I think when we were doing prayer today, we hit a couple of topics to continuously pray for. So students right now on their last 2 weeks, the frontline workers, so healthcare workers, anybody, the grocery stores, factories and so forth. We want to be continuously praying for them and their health and their families, God, because in this time, it's a lot for them as well, because they're not just going to work, they're also dealing with stuff at home.
Exactly.
So we want to continuously to pray for them. Send in your requests via email or call us. Let us know so that we can draw closer to you in this time in a community. All right. So it says, "Draw me to yourself." In this moment, draw me to yourself, Lord, and make me aware, not so much of what I've given as of all I have received, and so I have yet to share. Send me forth in power and gladness and with great courage to live out in the world what I pray and profess, that in sharing I may do justice, make peace, grow in love, enjoy myself, other people, and your world now, and you forever. Amen.
Amen. Wow. The Lord be with you, friends. Take care. Have a good week.